gentlemen, this is it. History in the making. The first Tournament of Champions ever held in New Jersey. 6 boys, group and parochial champions, were seeded to get to this final game. And it's St. Anthony and Elizabeth. Joining me on the telecast, Jim Spinarkle. Jim, tell you what, a lot of excitement surrounding this game. It's a rematch because Elizabeth lost to St. Anthony earlier in the year, but the Minutemen are coming on.
They really are. They've been playing well recently. They lost by 28 points to the St. Anthony team. But the thing about that is they can use that possibly as a little bit of a revenge factor. But it was a month ago. Teams are different right now. There's about 10,000 people here, so we should be in for a good one.
Let's take a look at 2 of the keys for Ben Candolino's Elizabeth Minutemen. They got in by winning the Group 4 championship. DeWarren P.J. Watkins in the backcourt, and big 7'2" Luther Wright up front.
Pretty simple what the keys are for these 2 players. Watkins has to read the defenses as well as possible because St. Anthony's is all over the place, so he has to make good judgments as far as controlling the ball. The big guy, on the other hand, has to stay out of foul trouble. If he can get through the first 2 quarters not in foul trouble, then Elizabeth will be okay.
It's been a perfect season so far for Bob Hurley's St. Anthony Friars. Their 7th straight parochial B title. 2 keys, a very familiar name in the backcourt, Bob Hurley Jr., the coach's son. And up front, a little bit like J.R. Reed there, number 21, Jerry Walker.
Well, Hurley's job, as he's done so well over his high school career, is to control the tempo of the game and take charge. One of the best players in the country at doing that, especially in the 4th quarter. Their big guy, on the other hand, has to do a job defensively on Wright.
Jerry Walker and Bob Hurley, 2 of the big players and 2 of the outstanding players in the nation. Let's take a look at how the 2 teams arrived at this Tournament of Champions final today. Elizabeth, in the Group 4 tournament, beat Barringer, East Orange, Plainfield, Ferris of Jersey City, and knocked out Trenton in the Group 4 final. Then, in the semifinal action, they beat Eastern of Voorhees Township 82-58. And the St. Anthony Friars of Jersey City. Don Bosco Tech in the parochial B opener, then Marist, St. Mary's of Jersey City, and then St. Rose of Belmar to win the parochial B title. They were the top-seeded team in the Tournament of Champions, and they beat McCorston, the Iron Mikes of Trenton, 69-54. So that's it. Exciting high school basketball. The first ever Boys Tournament of Champions. St. Anthony and Elizabeth. We'll be back right after this.
First Fidelity Bank is proud to join New Jersey Network in support of New Jersey high school basketball. On the next State of the Arts, we'll have an in-depth interview with the inimitable Bobby Short, lively jazz pianist and singer of popular American standards. Join us when we meet the man behind those sparkling 88s.
Tonight at 10 on NJM.
Pat Scanlon and Jim Spinarkle back at the Meadowlands Arena in East Rutherford, New Jersey. The second game of a basketball tripleheader. And Jimmy, the Nets are going to take on the Cleveland Cavaliers here on the parquet floor tonight.
The Cavs have been playing well all season long, Pat. It should be interesting. The Nets had a difficult night the other night against the Bullets, where they played well up until that maybe the 5-minute mark of the 4th quarter. So they have to come back and rebound. Bullets beating them in overtime the other night. But the Cavaliers are definitely, for real, one of the better teams this year in the NBA.
All of the players, the coaches, the managers, the assistants, the principals being honored before the tip of this Boys Tournament of Champions final.
Surprised they're not giving you an award. You're usually out there somehow getting involved.
I'll be out there at halftime, but of course for the NJSIAA, that's President Art Smith making the presentations, and Jerry Greco of First Fidelity Bank, and Bob Cassiola of the New Jersey Nets were the driving forces in bringing this game to the state's premier arena.
And he's doing a wonderful job as the leader of the Nets front office. Has done a nice job there in helping to coordinate things both on and off the floor, really.
The Elizabeth Minutemen come in with 10 straight victories. The St. Anthony Friars have won 49 straight, Jimmy. Somebody's streak is going to go out the window today.
Yeah, it's something where you can hope only if you're a basketball fan in general, especially fans of these 2 teams. Is the one thing I'm hoping for is both teams to play well. I mean, it's something where you don't want to see the big guy. I guess that's one thing that the Elizabeth Center, Luther Wright, has had problems with the fouls early going. I'm sure just basketball fans in general would love to see him be foul-free for the entire game, so they make it a competitive game.
Tell you what, though, Luther Wright has had some foul problems, but Ben Candolino's squad has played well with Luther on the bench. He got into some foul problems in the semifinal against the Eastern, and the rest of the team picked them up.
And that's the thing. I guess it's something where, you know, in the big games, and this team has played well in the big games, somebody has to step up and take advantage and take care of the slack when someone who's expected to do well does not do well. So it's a situation where when you get to this level in the finals of any major tournament like this one, there has to be more than one central focal point on each team.
Of course, we all know about the St. Anthony Friars, with at least 3 Division I players in the starting lineup. Hurley, Walker, and Terry DeHare will play for P.J. Carlissimo and the Seton Hall Pirates.
Yeah, and DeHare, I think, has the ability and the raw talent. He'll be a decent player second, third year out in college.
Okay, let's join public address announcer Carl Martin now for the starting lineup.
He's a 6'3" senior, wearing number 15, Mike Patel. St. Anthony, a freshman, 6'5", wearing number 13. At forward for Elizabeth, he's 6'2", he's a senior, wearing number 24, Tyrone Billingsley. And for St. Anthony, 6'7" senior, wearing number 21, Jerry Walker. At center for Elizabeth, 7'2", junior, wearing number 25, Luther Wright. For St. Anthony, wearing number 33, 6'6", junior, Jose Ortiz. At the guards, for Elizabeth, 6'1", senior, wearing number 3, Warren Watkins. And for St. Anthony, a 6'1" senior, wearing number 14, Robert Hurley, Jr. At the other guard for Elizabeth, he's a 6-footer, junior class, wearing number 12, Mike Brennan. And for St. Anthony, 6'3" senior, wearing number 24, Terry DeHare. The game officials, referee is Jerry Salvato. Wrong game.
Okay, here's our officials, Tom Lopes, Ed Strohmeyer, and Fred Hart. Jimmy, the NJSIAA went to the 3 officials for the tournament. You see Bob Hurley Jr. in his 17th season at St. Anthony. He's won 427 games against just 53 losses. And there is Ben Candolino and staff. Candolino in his 6th season for the Minutemen. Won state championships in 85, 88, and 89.
When you consider Hurley's record, I mean, it's a tremendous record for the amount of years to do it. Candolino on the other side is not too shabby either, 155 and 16. So both of them have great experience.
And defense got them to this championship game today. Don't underestimate Candolino and his defensive strategies against the St. Anthony Friars today.
The teams in March, you know, the March Madness abounds with the NCAAs going on right now also, and the teams that are going to do well in that tournament, in tournaments like this, will be the ones that start from the defense, because on given nights your offense can be off, but consistency in the defensive end will keep you in games and probably win a lot of games for you also.
Candolino would love to atone for that loss against St. Anthony. It was by 28, but since then, Bob Hurley told us that the Friars have played a less competitive schedule and maybe have come down a notch, and the Minutemen have been playing some strong teams in Group 4. Here we go, the boys' Tournament of Champions finals. Walker against 7'2" Luther Wright, and it's Jerry who controls the tip.
Jerry Walker steps right in there and gets ready to go.
Here's Bobby Hurley Jr. He'll play for Duke next season. To DeHare.
Looks like a little bit of a matchup, too. A little zone with a little bit of a matchup out front.
Walker goes right at Luther Wright, and Luther got all ball.
The matchup will help Luther Wright stay a little bit out of foul trouble, but Walker will challenge. He challenged him in the first game, and he'll probably take it at him again early.
DeHare Walker back to Terry. Baseline jumper. Breaks the seal.
Nice and smooth on the baseline. Very smooth overall basketball player, but he's a guy who can come up. St. Anthony's getting ready right at half court to play that tough man-to-man.
Here's Mike Matero. They lob inside to Luther. Jose Ortiz jumps out on him, and he loses the handle as Bobby Hurley collects.
Big guy puts the ball on the floor. 3 guys were on him that time.
Hurley tried to hit Walker. Matero hustling back on defense, got a hand on it, and it's Elizabeth ball.
Luther Wright, once he catches that ball and he tries to turn, he's probably going to have to do it without putting the ball on the floor because there'll be pesky guys all over.
P.J. Watkins quickly to Luther. They go down low. Luther can't convert it. Jose Ortiz, number 33, with the rebound. DeHare on the move for 2. And it's 4-0 St. Anthony.
Runs the court. A lot of raw ability right there. Going to Seton Hall. Should be a very good player by the time his career is over at Seton Hall. Has a lot of raw ability.
Tyrone Billingsley, a scoring threat for the Minutemen, to Matero in the paint. He's got the first 2 for the Minutemen.
So key also, Pat, that St. Anthony's been playing well in the 5 games. They've outscored their opponents 125-51 in the first quarter. So that's another key for Elizabeth to kind of keep it close to the first quarter.
That's right. The other night, St. Anthony jumped on McCorston. They led 11-0 before the Iron Mikes could blink in the semifinal game. Walker, strong. Luther got a piece. Let's see who it's going to go on. Was it Luther or Matero? Mike Matero picks up his first. And Matero usually draws the team's toughest opponent for Ben Candolino, but I'll tell you what, it's a tough choice against the Friars.
It really is. And the thing about it also is that with Candolino, every time he sees Luther Wright involved with the play, he's happy to see him come away without the foul.
Walker makes the first. He's a 71% free throw shooter. 6'7", 225. He started every game for the Friars since enrolling as a freshman.
And we focus on the big guy, but I think Watkins in the backcourt, who even admittedly said that he was disappointed at the way he played against Hurley the last time they matched up. He's one of the keys for the control and tempo for Elizabeth.
Matero with the freshman Roderick Rhodes guarding him. Down low to Luther. Soft left-handed shot is good for Luther Wright.
So he brought that one down a little bit, but it was a quicker move. He wasn't thinking about it and did not put the ball on the floor. So the timing of it is a much quicker move for the big guy with a nice soft touch.
DeHare to Walker with Luther. A presence on him. Back out to Terry DeHare for 3.
Terry DeHare came ready to play today.
He's got 7 points. The Friars lead 9-4 with 5.5 left first quarter. Matero traveled.
I think a little bit of an edge also, Pat. St. Anthony has been used to playing in front of bigger crowds than what Elizabeth is used to, and they've had so many big games over the course of the last year and a half that I think from a mental standpoint, you have to give them an advantage coming into this game, especially with the nervous jitters.
Elizabeth has turned it over twice now. Hurley, a 3-pointer. Bobby Hurley, nothing but net.
You can just see the confidence in St. Anthony's. They're stepping up, taking their shots and drilling them, so they're not even worried about who's in this building watching.
Friars by 8. And that time, Roderick Rhodes with the body, fouling Matero. Roderick Rhodes, a 6'5" freshman. Bob Hurley Sr. says he may be the best ever at St. Anthony.
That's saying a whole bunch when you consider some of the teams and talent they've had over the course of his career there.
Elizabeth calls timeout as St. Anthony has reeled off 5 straight points. The Minutemen beat Trenton 70-63 in what was probably one of the best group championship games.
Right now is not let
over previously undefeated Trenton.
And
this guy just keeps winning them in parochial B.
He really does. And the thing you have to do, you have to give credit to Bob Hurley Sr. is that he's an interesting guy from the standpoint of really being credible with the kids and working towards the kids and making sure it's not just basketball with these kids.
And you see the stat on Candolino. Two outstanding coaches.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Virgin Nets and the
Bobby Hurley's got it going early, Jimmy.
He really does, and it's a confidence where you could just see him step into the shot. And when you know you're going to shoot the ball, he anticipates plays as well as anybody in the high school level I've seen. And by that I mean he knows that if you're playing the game correctly, he'll know where you're supposed to be on the floor. Right there, he sensed the shot coming to him. He stepped right into it and just knocked it down.
He had 26 against Miss Coriston while dishing it off 7 times. P.J. Watkins tries to get things going. Brennan has trouble with the ball. Regains. And that defense will create a few problems for you. And Mike Brennan turns it over.
The double team on the side with Wright. Every time the ball goes for his side, 2 St. Anthony men just slip down to double team him. So they're going to force it outside, which makes sense for St. Anthony's defensively.
4:45 left first period. The Friars with a 12-4 lead over Elizabeth.
Here's the man-to-man now.
Early kicks it back out to De Hare. Now Watkins staring into the numbers of Hurley. Foul as Jerry Walker takes it to the basket. It's on the big guy, Luther Wright.
The big guy wasn't guarding him, Walker, initially there. He had Ortiz that set, but a little bit of an interchange forced him to change up on it. As soon as Walker realized it, a little bit of a fake, threw the big guy at him.
Candolino wanted the traveling. De Hare. No good. Rhodes on the rebound. Double dribble.
And this is where the big guy has to be careful, because with 4:29 left in the first, he's drawn his first foul. He has to be careful not to get another quick one in this first quarter.
Luther missed 8 minutes of the first half in the semifinal game. Watkins now. Short. Hurley with the long rebound. Bobby Hurley, a McDonald's All-America. Member of the St. Anthony 1,000-point club, along with Jerry Walker. Walker throws it away as Mike Brennan fills the passing lane. Nice behind-the-back move by Mike Brennan. Brennan, fall away, no. Rebound, Billingsley, up, and Ortiz got him with the foul.
Nice effort overall, though, by Brennan. Pausing the play from the defensive end, pushes it up the floor. Maybe just a touch out of control at the end, but I think he was a little excited about making that move, behind the back move, and then just wanted to do it all.
Jose Ortiz, the 6'6 junior.
second team.
And he got a lot of body, arm, and ball.
A good effort, though, on that weak side for the shot. Billingsley coming across, getting good position down there, and then reacting quickly and going right back up with it.
Tyrone Billingsley, as you see Hurley setting things up. An overachiever, according to Ben Candolino, had 23 against Eastern and 11 rebounds.
And here's defense number 3. It's a full court trap. They've gone man-to-man. A little bit of a travel out front, though, I think.
Yep, and there's the whistle. We've got the steps on Roderick Rhodes, who thought he had the alley and couldn't wait to get started.
He put the challenge sign up there, though. He had the big guy between he and the glass, and he was going right at it.
St. Anthony with 4 turnovers to 2 by Elizabeth. That's uncharacteristic. 3:30 left now. P.J. Watkins to Brennan. Billingsley, number 24. Matero. Down low to Luther. They fight for the ball. Bobby Hurley somehow gets it away, and then Rhodes starts it back for De Hare. Traveling the call in front of the St. Anthony bench.
Interesting, though. Sometimes this happens when a player anticipates that the defense is coming up at him. The tendency is you want to turn and do something quickly, but he gets the feet moving a little bit too quickly.
It happened right in front of Bob Hurley, who had an opinion on the call.
4 maroon shirts over there. Sweaters, rather, weren't too happy with that one.
12-5. St. Anthony with the lead. Elizabeth with the ball. Matero lob for Luther. He missed the pass. And Bobby Hurley comes away with it.
They're going to go with that lob. The big guy has to catch that one. It was in. He had both hands on it.
Hurley driving, penetrating, goes out of bounds off Elizabeth. Now Hurley will trigger. Ortiz traveling.
Make showed the ball. Nice move out front with the ball fake, but then the feet started moving before the ball came down. So that's a little bit of being over anxious, and also having a guy who's 7'2" underneath the basket. You start looking for the big guy.
That and about 10,000 fans on hand.
Sure do.
Start the butterflies going.
Knows that we're watching, Pat, right?
Matero lays it off for Luther. Luther, no, but a whistle underneath. And it's Jose Ortiz.
Matero,
his second personal.
Nice penetration by Matero, coming across the lane, drawing some guys, getting a couple of looks from St. Anthony defensively, and then just dropping into the big guys.
Matero, a 70% free throw shooter, will go to the line. Excuse me, Luther will go to the line. 7'2", 255 pounds. He's only a junior.
A nice soft touch also, not only at the free throw line, but down low. He gets the ball off with a very nice soft touch. Sometimes those lefties seem to have a nice soft touch and then they shoot the ball. I bet he's good at throwing darts also.
He's only a 55% free throw shooter, but he cans them both, and Candolino says he's got better as the year went on. It was a bit of an adventure from the charity stripe earlier in the season.
Just watching the way he shoots, though, he has pretty good form for a guy his size, so it comes down to practicing those and concentration. Here's the matchup again. It's a little bit of a man-to-man and a zone combined.
St. Anthony by 5 with the ball. Hurley for 3, no. Luther had a piece of it in Billingsley. Gets it to P.J. Watkins. Watkins behind the back, tried to dish back to Luther, and Walker intercepts. Hurley now. As Matero knocked him off the ball, Bobby Hurley stripped again by Watkins. Billingsley to Luther. Showtime, and the foul on Jerry Walker.
And that's a very good call also, Pat, because even though the big guy was all alone, I don't think Walker wanted to, but he put his hand on the back of Wright as he went up. So this is a very good call.
One more time for Luther Wright.
We'll see if we can catch the big guy. Didn't get back defensively, but see if you can see. There it is, the left hand just slightly, and that's what the official will look for, the touch.
Wright attempting the three-point play. Had 21 points, 16 rebounds, and 4 blocks against Eastern in the semifinal. I'll tell you what, Mike, or Jim, Michael Cornwick in the first game with me here. He looks like anything but a 55% free throw shooter. He's made 3 now. 12-10, Elizabeth with a run to draw within 2. And Billingsley leans in to Roderick Rhodes, and Rhodes pushes him away.
And Rhodes that time showing that he's a freshman, a young kid, just pushing back after a foul. Now Walker steps in. I think this will be a little competitive as we go along here.
Billingsley with the first, the third on Elizabeth. Checking in now, Isaac Morgan, number 14, replacing Billingsley. And the Friars stay with the starting 5. Excuse me, no, they have number 10 now into the ball game for them, Woodrow Williams. Jerry Walker. With 1:40 left, 12-10 St. Anthony. First quarter action on NJN.
And that's where Wright wants him. He should back off. Every time Walker catches the ball, he should take a step away from him, because Walker, let him shoot the ball from long range if he can.
And Terry DeHare drills one from three-point land. 10 points for DeHare. It's 15-10 St. Anthony. Matera lobs for Luther. Lays it up, won't go. Williams with the rebound.
The guy with a nice catch, got his feet moving before the ball came to him.
Brennan kicks it out of bounds.
When Elizabeth finally breaks the St. Anthony defense and they get easy ones like that, it's so important for them to convert as many as they possibly can. That one just rolled out, a little bit of bad luck.
Hurley, a 44% field goal shooter from three-point land as they knock it out of bounds again.
Interesting how Bobby Hurley Sr. thought of his son. He said that he's the most dangerous player in America when the game's on the line.
Walker over Wright for 2. 4 now for Jerry Walker. The Friars go up by 7. Steal, Hurley, but it goes back to Watkins. Here's Luther off the feet from Mike Matero.
both ends there. Elizabeth, good defense to stop Hurley. Hurley made the initial good defensive play. Elizabeth getting the easy bucket at the end, though.
9 points for Luther Wright.
Good anticipation, though, by Watkins on the defensive end that last time, because Hurley knew after he got his steal, there was going to be a layup if he got that pass by him.
With 26 seconds left in the quarter, the foul on Isaac Morgan as Roderick Rhodes went to the hoop. 4 on the Minutemen then.
He's playing a little bit of coach right now. Might not be a bad time to get Luther Wright on the bench if you could, so he doesn't pick up one with 26 seconds left.
And number 23, Malik Jackson, comes in now for the Minutemen. 17 to 12. 20 seconds left first quarter. DeHare out top, has the lane, and lost the handle. St. Anthony maintaining possession. Luther Wright looking over at Coach Ben Candolino. Luther stays with Jerry Walker.
They're in that straight man-to-man right now.
Here's Hurley for 3, won't go. Luther with the rebound, plenty of time left. To P.J. Watkins for the breakaway layup.
Very good outlet pass by the big guy, but no one helped Bobby Hurley out when he shot the ball.
Hurley almost found the iron. So we played 1 quarter of the boys' Tournament of Champions final. With the score, St. Anthony 17, Elizabeth 14. We'll be back after this.
Next time on Nature, the endearing story of Mozu, a very special Japanese snow monkey. Born with severe deformities, her life is a constant struggle for survival. But above all, Mozu is a loving mother who must overcome her handicap and care for her young. Join us in the cold Japanese winter for the heartwarming story of Mozu the snow monkey, next time on Nature.
Free of pledge breaks tomorrow at 8 on NJN.
Pat Scanlon and Jim Spinarco back at the Meadowlands where the Friars lead by 3 after 1. Jim, here's what Bob Hurley thought were the keys for his Friars today.
So that means
when you look at it, pretty basic basketball, if they can get those turnovers 10 or less, and then just shoot the ball consistently. So it's something where, you know, they also like, one of his other things that he mentioned was he'd like to hold a team for 2 quarters, 10 points or less in any of the 2 quarters. So if they can do that, and they've done that over the course of the season, they're very successful.
And St. Anthony has already turned the ball over 8 times, so it's not going Hurley's way in that category. The Minutemen inbound to start the second quarter. Watkins to Jackson and back out to PJ. Malik Jackson, number 23, stays in the ball game. And the whistle from behind.
Well, for no other reason than to just build up their confidence, Elizabeth can start the sense that, hey, we got through this first quarter, only 1 foul on the big guy. St. Anthony's been playing very well in first quarters. Maybe we have a game on our hands. Everybody had us big underdogs, but maybe not.
Woodrow Williams committing his first for the Friars. So here's Malik Jackson, 6'2" junior. Good form. Jackson gives Candolino some good defense and a physical presence.
And we'll see what kind of defense they come up with now. They had been using that full court. Looks like they're going to drop it back, though.
Elizabeth within 1. They've run off 6 straight baskets, or points rather. Hurley against P.J. Watkins. DeHare. Walker down low, powers to the hoop.
Keeps his mind, the presence of mind down low. He knows that the big guy is behind him. He's going to keep challenging him. That's what they started with in the first quarter. They're looking to pick up a quick one if they can in the beginning of the second quarter on the big guy.
Matiro to Jackson. Brennan for 2. No. And there's the 6'1" guard under the boards. DeHare. Quickly. Woodrow Williams. And Williams is only a sophomore. sophomore, but he's got a basket in the Tourney of Champions.
I'm surprised that guy's shot got off, too. I thought the big guy had it lined up. Luther Wright was standing there, took a swat at it with the left, but a good move with the ball away from the big guy to drop one in.
That's confidence for a sophomore. They flip inside to Luther Wright, and it's Jerry Walker from behind picking up the personal.
It's going to be difficult to get that pass in on an angle like that, keeping it level about, you know, they're just throwing chest passes in there. They have to get the ball, use the guy's height, lob it into him, and then let the big guy make his move.
Walker's got 2 personals for Hurley's club. Billingsley checks in. Malik Jackson checks out for Elizabeth. Luther Wright. Ben Candolino says he doesn't have a mean bone in his body, and I wish he did, because sometimes he becomes too unselfish. He wants that intensity from the 7'2" junior. 21-16, the Friars lead. Hurley had it knocked away from behind by Watkins, and here comes PJ to the glass for 2.
Billingsley with a nice dish, a nice lead pass, good smart basketball. Hurley turning that one over, but the defense is right there. A lot of guys helping out and keeping an eye on Hurley as he comes through with the penetration.
Hurley gets by Matero from the baseline. No. There's Roderick Rhodes. Bumps, leans into Luther Wright, and draws the foul.
Good example of a guy who used his quickness to get to the ball initially. Wright was just standing there flat-footed. Rhodes went after the ball. Once he caught it, he turned and realized that he had the big guy a little bit out from the basket. What happens there is you neutralize the height advantage the further you can pull the big guy out on the floor. Rhodes went right at him and drew the foul.
And that is 2 personals on Luther Wright as we get a look at Roderick Rhodes. 6'5" freshman. Had 8 points against McCorston to help the Friars get to today's championship game.
That's where those little guys love to get the big guys a step or 2 out on the floor so you can really take advantage and make up for those the blocked shots.
Matero with the Minutemen down by 4. Brennan. Right side to Tyrone Billingsley, who hasn't got going yet. Watkins for 3. Hurley with the rebound again.
Stays in the paint nicely, looking for the rebound and also the outlet pass, but smart enough to get good position, just waiting for long rebounds, long shots.
Jimmy, I tell you, it's confusing, all the 3-point arcs here.
Those guys from Notre Dame have a tough time figuring things out.
All right, just because we lost to Georgetown today. Good play inside by Luther, but wait.
God, I thought that was goaltending. The big guy, I thought the ball hit the glass, but no one seems to agree with me, so I guess they're going to let it go as a good block.
The foul on Woodrow Williams. And now a bit of confusion here. And the Friars want a timeout. So that's the situation with St. Anthony leading 22-18. Luther Wright, the block shot artist for Ben Candolino's club. Second block of the day for Luther.
He has to be careful out there because of the foul situation, but we'll see if I would have made it as an official. A tough angle to see whether it went off the glass or not. What do you think?
Pinned it to the glass. There's another look.
Well, that ball definitely hit the glass first. We would have made it as officials. It's good to know we have second careers, right?
We may need it. Ben Candolino, though. 155 and 16 wins in his career at Elizabeth High School. And the big guy, 21 points, 16 rebounds. In the semifinal against McCorston. John Castaldo's club had a great season. Went through the Pro KLA title undefeated and then lost in the semifinal.
Interesting, jokingly, with Ben Candolino said before he hoped that St. Anthony's would not show up today. Nice wishful thinking on his part.
Tell you what, St. Anthony has shown up all season against the best in the country. They played Miami when Miami was ranked 2nd. They played Flint Hill of Virginia, who was ranked 3rd. Luther.
Well, that's why they've earned the reputation as the #1 school in the country, is that they've gone to 10 different states to play different teams, so it's not like they play a pansy schedule. They're playing some very competitive teams throughout the United States. And he also, as I mentioned, Bobby Hurley Sr. still has that approach where it's not the most important thing for these kids. Education and discipline is more important than winning basketball games.
Absolutely, and it's 22-20 as Wright is 4 of 5 from the line. St. Anthony with an enrollment of 310 students. Each pays $1,300 in tuition, and there's no athletic scholarships. Ball goes out of bounds off P.J. Watkins.
Two things to look for also, Pat, is the defense, the up-tempo defense now paying off for Elizabeth, and St. Anthony's having a little bit of trouble with it, not executing.
Under 5 minutes left, second period. DeHare into Walker. Walker squares up, won't go. Luther rebound, fought for, and Jerry Walker knocked it out of bounds.
Big guy catching that rebound initially up high, but he has that tendency to bring it down, which gives the little guys there once again where you neutralize the height advantage also. He's 7 feet 2 inches tall. He gets the ball up there. No one's going to be able to knock it out of his hands, but if he brings it down to his waist, a lot of the little guys, 6'7" Walker, right? A little guy has a shot at getting the ball.
Ortiz, a little guy at 6'6", comes back into the ball game, replacing Sean Rooney. As DeHare gets a hand on the ball. Ever-present defense. Billingsley won't go. Luther way above the crowd.
Good smarts to kick it out. He did not have a good position down low. After he got the rebound, he was forced out a little bit.
There's Matero from Billingsley. Looks inside, and Walker was fronting right. Ahead of the pack, Rhodes. Back to DeHare. Here comes Jerry Walker for two.
Great job of running the floor by Walker, but so unselfish to St. Anthony's teams. Rhodes ran it down, gave it back. The trailer coming through, letting everybody know that he was coming through the middle. Walker.
A la the Boston Celtics on the break, Jimmy. Matero off to Billingsley. And Tyrone Billingsley for two.
Got to break that time. The ball was deflected. Billingsley was standing right where it was coming, so they get a quick bucket.
Minutemen within two with 3:35 left, second quarter.
Still wouldn't be a bad move for St. Anthony to try to get the ball to that man to draw a third foul if they could.
I'll tell you, when Luther right hand checks you, Jerry Walker's stomach just disappeared. Right with the rebound. Outlet for Watkins, and he dribbled it out of bounds in front of the table here.
Tough outlet pass to catch right there. Watkins trying to turn and catch at the same time, but a little bit out of control with the pass.
8 turnovers for each team now. Bobby Hurley. Baseline for Jose Ortiz. No, and Luther boxes out.
A nice look down low, but Ortiz, as soon as he caught the ball, he kind of looked to the middle of the floor.
Billingsley count the basket, and the foul on Jose Ortiz.
Minutemen starting to get a couple of rolls here. They had a deflection the last time down where they got a basket. Here they hit the front of the iron, but the carom just rolls right over, drops it for a three-point opportunity. Ortiz with that left knee, though, sticking it out for the foul.
The drive to the basket by Tyrone Billingsley, who has 5. Now we get a couple subs for the Friars. Checking in number 3, Mark Harris, along with number 10, Woodrow Williams.
And usually by this time, Pat, St. Anthony's is playing with a 15, 20-point lead. So a little bit of change of approach now. They have themselves a ball game on their hands.
24 all, 2:48 left. Second period action. Bobby Hurley. Harris 3 to Walker. Walker back out. DeHare from three-point range. No. Luther with his 7th rebound. Tips it to Watkins. Matero off to Luther. And Luther lays it in.
Soft touch once again, and I'm repeating myself on that one, but the big guy catches it. Someone cut in front of him, so he had to get rid of it quickly, but a nice, easy, soft touch on the move that time.
And the Elizabeth Minutemen have taken the lead with 6 straight points, and it's a St. Anthony turnover.
That's where the big guy has to be careful. Walker put it on the floor much quicker than the big guy. Here's a good move, though, getting the big guy out with 2:11 left in the half. Should probably keep him on the bench for the remainder because they're playing very well.
Luther has 13. He goes to the bench as number 14, Isaac Morgan, checks in. He's got 2 personals, and he won't pick up the third as Candolino sits him for the rest of the second quarter, most likely.
And patience the key here for Elizabeth. The up-tempo defense, again, that St. Anthony's preaches with Bob Hurley Sr. If the Minutemen could just stay calm, they should be in good shape with the big guy on the bench.
And Billingsley, the overachiever, gives the Minutemen a 4-point lead with 1:45 left. 7 for Tyrone Billingsley. He averages just 8.5 a game, but he's really raised his game in the tournament.
Got away with the walk again there, I believe. Looked like he was going to dribble, then passed it off the move. No dribble.
The Friars, uncharacteristically, down by 4. Walker as they trap on him.
Good collapsing defense with the double team.
Bobby Hurley stripped from behind, but the Friars control as Mark Harris, number 3, was there to collect.
Wow, Watkins got the hand on Hurley's dribble, but Hurley stays with the play until it's completed. That's one thing he does very well.
Hurley to the basket for 10, and he wanted a foul on the play. 5 for Bobby Hurley. Under a minute now. Elizabeth, a 2-point lead and the ball. Walker, though, intercepts to DeHare. Gets by Watkins. Oh, baby, what a dribble.
A little bit of the shift. Watkins running for the steal. He was going to try to go for that steal as the layup was being shot. DeHare puts it right between the legs, though, on him. Crosses to the left.
Terry with a dozen in the first half. Matero trying to answer. Tipped up Billingsley. Walker, outlet, DeHare on the run. He's tough to stop.
Count it.
We've got the whistle, and the officials looking off. Count the basket on the goaltending call.
As soon as Luther Wright went to the bench, rather, Elizabeth decided to go with an up-tempo game, which has hurt them right now, but really getting out of this half, only down a couple. If that's the way it ends up, they'll be in good shape because the big guy has those all-important fouls.
Watkins picks up his first as we take another look.
Nice hesitation coming down on the right side of the floor. The hesitation outside freezes the defensive player's knees, giving him a better angle to get to the basket.
And then you see Morgan guilty. Checking in now. Sean Rooney, number 25, the 6'7" junior, replacing Jerry Walker. So Walker has 2 personals.
You can bet that Ben Candolino would love to put the big guy in, but he knows that he just can't take a chance of picking up that third. So it's a good move for him to just let him sit, even though this team is out of control slightly.
But Walker with 2 and Ortiz with 3 for the Friars. They're on the bench, and we've got the violation traveling.
Bobby Hurley Jr. going for the sideline. Defensively, you want to stop the penetration along the sideline and the baseline, whatever those 2 sidelines lines can be to your advantage.
The Friars have reeled off 7 straight with 20 seconds left in the second period. And Elizabeth has turned the ball over 11 times here in the first half.
Friars really turned it up a notch in the last 2 minutes.
They answered the bell after Elizabeth went up by 4. 5 seconds left. Hurley dishing, lays it off to Williams. No. Rebound fought for as the buzzer sounds. It's been 2 quarters of outstanding high school basketball action. The boys' Tournament of Champions final, and the Friars and Bobby Hurley Jr. take a 31-28 lead into the locker room over the Elizabeth Minutemen. We'll be back at the Meadowlands right after this.
Enough because Walker's very good along the baseline.
Jerry Walker shooting 2. 71% free throw shooter.
And we'll see if the next couple of trips down when St. Anthony has the ball, see if they don't try to get it to Walker, maybe for a quick isolation move, see if they can get that 4th foul.
Jerry Walker 3 of 4 from the charity stripe. And the Friars go back up by 4 now at 32-28 with 6:05 left in the third period. Walker with the steal. Back to Hurley, and Hurley has it knocked out of bounds by Mike Brennan.
Saved the bucket right there. Hurley had 4 Friars coming down behind him. As soon as he caught the ball, Brennan was there to slap it.
Here's Hurley inside. DeHare loses the handle with Bobby Hurley. Omnipresent.
And back into the zone, which will cover the big guy. It's going to be that matchup again. It's a 1-3-1, but here's the isolation.
And Walker traveled as he tried to get by Luther Wright.
Good smarts, though, by St. Anthony's to isolate him, but the defense now, the 1-3-1, will protect the big guy and try to keep him out of getting that 4th if they can.
Elizabeth looking for their first points of the second half. Brennan to Billingsley. Batted out of bounds by Rhodes. So the Minutemen will get to set it up.
Entrance pass that time pretty far out on the floor. Another dribble or two to get closer to the man receiving it.
Candolino showing some confidence in Luther Wright, leaving him in the game with 3 personals.
There's no sense resting him for tomorrow, right? This is it.
This is it as Roderick Rhodes.
Wouldn't be surprised, though, if he can make it through the next 3 or 4 minutes of this third quarter. Sit him out again for that last minute of this quarter if they're that fortunate.
Rhodes picks up his second. Team's first. Billingsley to the glass, and it's Rose again. So Rhodes picks up a couple quick ones.
Nice entrance pass that time from the out of bounds under the basket. Supposed to guard that defensively. Bobby Hurley Sr. wants that to be guarded inside out. Force the action out away from the basket.
Bob Hurley has won 90 of the last 92 games he's coached. Billingsley has to cash him in. Misses them both, but there's Luther. Matero had a shot at it, but Brennan. To Hare, to Hurley, and Hurley lost the handle. Luther put it on the floor for a little bit, then gave it up to Matero. Here's Mike. Yes.
Needed that hoop. They needed that one to get themselves into it offensively.
4 for Matero. The Minutemen within 2. 5 minutes left, third period. Mark Harris to Bobby Hurley. De Hare looks inside. Walker and Luther Wright, and a pushing foul on Luther as they went for the ball, and that is 4 on the big guy.
See, that's the foul that they did not want to have, and they're maybe a little out of control defensively. The big guy going for a steal. You just want that big guy to park himself in the middle of the lane and not take any chances.
Ben Candolino didn't like that one. Isaac Morgan immediately gets up off the bench to replace Luther Wright. Candolino getting his money's worth on that one, but that is a costly personal for Luther Wright.
And we'll make a note also with this 4th foul with 4:47 left. The score is only a 2-point game, 32-30. So we'll see just what kind of factor. When he went to the bench with 2 minutes left in that second quarter, St. Anthony's really up-tempoed the game and had some good results. So we'll see what happens in the next 2 or 3 minutes.
Turnovers, St. Anthony. Bob Hurley wanted to turn it over about 10 times to be successful in this contest. They've already turned it over 14 times to 12 for the Minutemen.
And interesting that one of his goals was to keep it fewer than 10. So they've not had that goal accomplished for today already, and we still have a long way to go.
Of course, the big goal today to win his 32nd of the year. 7 straight parochial B titles, 9 in the last 10 years. So now Elizabeth will be tested. Luther Wright on the bench. Isaac Morgan, number 14, a 6'4" sophomore. He's a leaper, but those are big shoes to fill. Hurley, inbounds for Walker. Billingsley got a piece of it.
Terrific block by Billingsley, jumping straight up and keeping his hands straight up in the air, not coming down to get that block and swinging down.
Brennan to Watkins, open jumper, no. Rebound, Jerry Walker.
Good first set, though, defensively for Elizabeth, also offensively. Nice penetration, good open shot.
De Hare brings it back outside. 4:15 left, third period. They look inside to Walker. Dish to Roderick Rose. He regained possession for the basket.
Nice catch and a nice grab. As you mentioned, getting control of that one. That was the most important thing for him, to catch that ball and control it.
Mike Brennan, number 12, the 6-foot junior. Smart ball handover at that time. Picks up the offensive foul as Bobby Hurley had position.
The big one out front to hide the big tempo defense, which will get St. Anthony's pumped up. A little bit of ice on the floor, just thrown from the stands. Here comes another one. Not the smartest thing to be doing with any level of play, throwing things on the floor.
Brennan with the elbow, his first. 34-30, the St. Anthony Friars leading. Hurley with Watkins back on him now. Bobby dishing off to Jerry Walker for the easy two. And Jerry enjoys not having Luther Wright inside.
Well, the thing about it is you don't have to look for the big guy. You know, you can just go straight at the goal, not think and play instinctive basketball. When the big guy is out there, you're catching it, and you're one eye, you're looking for him over your shoulder, which takes you away from your efficiency.
That is just the first personal on Bobby Hurley. Terra to Watkins. And the Friars coming at the Minutemen with full court pressure. Morgan up and down. Jump ball.
I think the arrow's in their favor. They should get to keep it.
We check the arrow from our position. Yes. Elizabeth to inbound. You think Bob Hurley earns his paycheck for the Friars? Watkins driving, left-handed scoop, and the blocking foul underneath on Terry DeHare, his first.
They caught DeHare slipping just a little bit. As Watkins was in the air, he kind of slid his body underneath him, in front of him as he was in the air. So it looks like a pretty good call by the officials. Both of them had it. 2 out of the 3 officials had it that way.
So Watkins, a 63% free throw shooter with a half dozen today. Being recruited by Monmouth College, Wayne Zook and company. The Minutemen are within 3.
Pretty athletic team with the Minutemen. So with the big guy on the bench, they now have the ability and the time to go out and show their athletic abilities and play an open game.
And they've had plenty of experience playing without Luther Wright, who's had foul problems throughout the state tournament. DeHare with Matero all over him.
Still in that 1-3-1, but it's an aggressive 1-3-1 defense. When that ball comes into about 15-foot range, it's a strong attack from the defensive end.
Candolino preaches defense as vehemently as Bob Hurley. Walker lost the handle, got it up, taken down by Isaac Morgan, who really got up there.
Well, you did your homework, huh? Scouting report, you said he was a leaper. He showed it that time.
Brennan kicks it to Matera. Matera over to Hare, the air ball. Out of bounds, Friars ball.
Walker has to be careful. Didn't throw an elbow, but the elbow came up as he went for that ball.
2:25 left, third period. Tournament of Champions final as DeHare looks inside for Rhodes, and it's Billingsley banging into Roderick Rhodes. 3 on Tyrone.
24-101.
Billingsley may be playing for Jersey City State in the New Jersey Athletic Conference next season. Charlie Brown will like him.
Charlie Brown used to compete against Charlie Brown when he was a coach. I'm not showing my age. I was a player when he was coach at Lincoln High School in Jersey City. His son's a terrific player also.
Walker on the offensive glass, no, and Morgan with the rebound.
And there's a play that looked as if he were fouled, but he was out of control, so the officials kind of have to recognize when a player's out of control and not bail him out.
Billingsley had it blocked by Walker. Now Morgan, and it's Jerry Walker from behind picking up the personal, and that is 3 now on Jerry Walker.
Well, that was a great series right there for 2 guys, 2 strong guys about the same types of bodies, just banging away, trying to come up with the basketball.
Bob Hurley wants to have a little chat with Jerry Walker. Looks like he'll leave him in the ball game, but he'll caution him on playing with 3 personals. Jerry Walker being recruited by Seton Hall in St. Peter's, we hear, and after the Tournament of Champions is over, Walker will begin to make a decision.
I think I overheard Bob Hurley Sr. saying tomorrow he'd make his decision.
Isaac Morgan.
I kind of bet that he has his decision made up. I think he's going to announce his decision. You don't make a college choice in one day.
Tell you what, it'll be interesting whether he joins DeHare at Seton Hall or joins his brother Jasper Walker playing for Ted Fiore St. Peter's Peacocks. Morgan makes 1 of 2, and there's Walker boxing out. 36-34, a 2-point game. St. Anthony leads. Pat Scanlon and Jim Spinarkle here at the Meadowlands. Hurley driving. No. Walker puts it up and in.
Soft shot by Hurley, though. It's a shot that allows offensive guys to get in good rebounding positions. The shot falls down softly off the rim.
And if Luther Wright's in the ball game, chances are that Walker's going to get boxed out on that play. The left-handed driving layup by Mike Brennan at the other end.
He has trouble if he shoots that with his right hand. Good smarts, good switch of the hands.
DeHare, no. Walker, another offensive rebound. And he's fouled in the scramble by Mike Matero, number 15.
Scramble's the word. The Elizabeth team is not letting up with their big guy on the bench, just scrambling all over the place.
3 by Matero. Both teams in the bonus.
Everyone is at the line to shoot 1 and 1.
Walker, 1 in the bonus.
He only hit 60% over the year.
This is the front end. Jump ball, the arrow, favoring St. Anthony as number 23, Malik Jackson, comes into the contest. And Matero checks out. So Matero with 3 gets a blow from Candolino. 38-36, the Friars with the lead in the ball. DeHare to a cutting Bobby Hurley, who goes over Watkins.
Good use of the body by Bobby Hurley Jr. Coming across the lane, caught it with his man on his right hip, looked at him first, and then kind of used his body to get that shot off.
Brennan, as Jerry Walker jumped out at him. Now Watkins.
Jerry Walker went out there with the kick save, trying to kick that ball if he passed it. It's a nice move, having a big 6'7" guy throwing his legs at you also.
Harris picks up the personal. His second. P.J. Watkins goes to the line. Sub for St. Anthony. Rhodes is in. Harris checks out.
And when the big guy went out, the score was 32-30, Pat. So with 2 free throws here, they can keep that differential the same, really neutralizing the fact that the big guy is out. So they've saved the free throw. It looks like they're going to weather the storm in the third.
Well, they did it against Trenton in the Group 4 final, and they did it against Eastern, where Wright had foul problems. Candolino's club able to rise to the occasion. Bounces out for P.J. Watkins, but big rebound by Mike Brennan.
Oh, that shot was about halfway down.
Malik Jackson, air ball, rebound, Williams. Here come the Friars with a 3-point lead. 45 seconds left. Third quarter action, the Tournament of Champions final. Rhodes with a distinct height advantage over Brennan. Now Bobby Hurley from NBA 3-point range.
He even had to catch that. He didn't even catch that one cleanly, which is a sign that somebody has confidence in their shooting ability.
10 for Bobby Hurley. Malik Jackson tiptoes along the baseline for 2.
That was a big one because the Bobby Hurley shot brought them up 6. Kind of one of those psychological ones where it started to go in the other direction. Elizabeth answers right away, though.
St. Anthony with 9 left in the third period. DeHare. And he's bumped by Isaac Morgan with the body. So DeHare with 4 seconds left will get a chance to go to the line for the 1-and-1.
A little late on the step out. DeHare forcing the action, knew the clock, had a good control over the ball and the court as far as knowing the time on the clock.
Terry DeHare, 15 points already. That's his average. Short. Morgan on the rebound. P.J. Watkins, the heave. He misses, but 3/4 of action gone in the Tournament of Champions final. With the score, St. Anthony 43, Elizabeth 39, back at the Meadowlands after this. Bobby Hurley doing his Jim Spinarkle imitation.
He made that shot, Pat. Good shooter, though. Good range on the outside shot. Gets the ball, elevates himself well off the floor, but also brings the ball up quickly to the shooting position.
Tell you what, the Friars of St. Anthony in a ball game, and they haven't been accustomed to that. Average margin of victory, 28 points.
Well, they've only given up 60 points this year 3 times, so they're a defensive team. They like the low-scoring games as far as their opponents are concerned, so they're still in the driver's seat, but you know, a little under control, not total under control like they're normally used to in games like this.
And of the 8 New Jersey teams they faced in the regular season, all 8 made the state tournament. Here come the Minutemen, down by 4 as we enter the 4th quarter. Malik Jackson to Brennan. Billingsley, Morgan, and Watkins also in. Here's Watkins, no. Billingsley fighting for the rebound with Jerry Walker. We've got a jump ball. The arrow favoring St. Anthony. So the Friars able to benefit by the arrow, and Bobby Hurley walks it up. The heady floor leader with a 4-point lead. Stops. Deflected on the baseline. Watkins on the run. Pass to Hare, no. There's Watkins. Able to cash in, no. Blocked by Jerry Walker. And Rhodes grabs it for the Friars.
Watkins doing his best to get that action underneath, really going in their favor, but a little bit of a force the last time.
Walker off the glass for 2. The Friars by 6. And Candolino may have to come back with Luther Wright in a hurry.
He's going to try to weather it, I bet, until about the 6.5-6-minute mark if he can.
Isaac Morgan with Jerry Walker on him. Jackson back to Brennan. Here's Morgan. Watkins had a notion from 3-point range. Penetrates, dishes. Jackson, no. Walker controlling the boards.
Coming up with the big rebounds. Elizabeth just can't get it to drop for them.
To Hare, to Hurley, to Jerry Walker. What a beautiful fast break.
Good time for a timeout. Yeah, he's going to go with one and shot things over. Might have to get the big guy in right now, though, Pat.
And here comes Luther Wright to check in for the Elizabeth Minutemen. With 6:29 left in the contest. The Minutemen find themselves down by 8. And Candolino says plenty of time left to the troops.
No question about it. The thing about it is that with their effort right now, the big guy's coming in. So I think it's something where they just have to be patient. He has to be careful for the next 3 minutes. But once that 5-minute or 4-minute mark comes around, if he doesn't have that 5th foul by then, he's got to let it go all out.
As we said, there's no tomorrow. The final game of the New Jersey High School Basketball Championships. As you see the timeouts, the Minutemen with just 1. St. Anthony has 3. And Jimmy, it's been a great atmosphere here at the Meadowlands. The Nets, First Fidelity, NJN on hand here. Big crowd, a noisy crowd.
It really was, and it's if numbers are any indication of the success, today's attendance at 8,514 people, the announced attendance. I mean, this is a great crowd, and as you mentioned, both ends, even the girls' game that was here before, very exciting teams playing, and also the crowds were very enthusiastic getting into it.
Hoffman High winning the girls' championship over Union Catholic by 2 in overtime. 6:29 left now. The Minutemen down by 8, right back into the ball game, along with Jackson, Matera, Watkins, and Brennan. The Friars answer with Hurley, Ortiz, Walker. Matero shot, no. There's Luther on the boards, stripped by Bobby Hurley, out of bounds. St. Anthony ball off Brennan.
That's an amazing play also. Bobby Hurley initiating it. The big guy brings it down on the floor. Hurley gets it and kind of whips it off the big guy's leg.
It's Hurley, to Hare, Rhodes, Ortiz, and Walker.
That's that 6th sense again, Pat, that Hurley displayed, though, because he had no chance of getting that ball, but he knew that he was going to be able to get it off.
De Hare took a 2-handed shot, and he traveled. Tried to plant the 2 feet, came down with the ball, and whistled for the traveling violation.
Violation. Another official had the walk call, but the first violation overrules it.
Now Elizabeth down by 8. Time running out, 5:50. They've got to get it going. And the Friars, not an easy team to come back against. Luther Wright, and that time he's fouled by Bobby Hurley Jr. underneath as he took the lob.
Once again, 3 guys from St. Anthony running at him, trying to prevent him from doing anything, but the big guy holds the ball in the air that time, doesn't bring it down to make it that much easier. It's up high now, and he brings it down slightly, but that's still his advantage right there because Bobby Hurley, at about 6 feet tall, doesn't have the advantage to take that one away from the stronger Wright.
Hurley picks up his second. Luther Wright has the stroke from the charity stripe today. Both teams are in the bonus. Wright misses the second, and there's Walker.
Everyone, Phillies lead to the 24th back of the game for Division 10. 15 places, Bobby Jackson.
Now let's see what kind of patience the Friars show with a 7-point lead, 5.5 left. Bob Hurley Sr. says, this is where my son is so valuable. He knows when to push it up. He knows when to control the ball and set the tempo.
And he also knows he's been good at taking control from the standpoint of when no one else is scoring consistently, he's done a good job of taking charge.
Rhodes lost it on his way to the basket, but Ortiz saves, kicks it back, and Watson intercepts. Watkins to the glass. Count it. But it's an offensive foul. Offensive foul on P.J. Watkins.
You can tell Watkins was going to come the whole way on it, driving right at Bobby Hurley Jr. I think Bobby Hurley may have been moving slightly on that one, so I don't know. Fans don't really seem to agree with the call.
Watkins picks up his second, no basket. It remains 47-40, and Candolino can't believe the call. Under 5 minutes left now. Hurley, St. Anthony with the lead and the ball. Mark Harris. Ortiz from the foul line. No. Walker kept it alive, but Luther Wright reaches out and snares the rebound.
Jerry Walker getting 10 rebounds a game on average. That's why he gets it, because he's constantly moving around down low. Very difficult to block him out.
Matero, lob for Luther. Bobby Hurley went up to try and block it, and he got a piece. That's his third.
Bobby Hurley trying to help out on the baseline, but really no contest when the big guy gets the lob going in his direction.
Luther Wright at 7'2", the tallest player for St. Anthony. Jerry Walker at 6'7". Luther Wright, 5 of 7 from the free throw line, but we've got a timeout. The Friars with 2 left. One more look, Jimmy.
Well, once again, coming along the baseline, Bobby Hurley trying to help his teammates out, coming down, read the play nicely. Once again, Ortiz could have even gotten a foul there. A couple of guys hammering away at the big fella.
There's a lot to hammer away at. He's had his foul problems, but his intensity has been there, and the guards haven't forgotten about him, so that he's had to be in the ball game.
Yeah, and they'll look for him. I mean, it's a good isolation with 4.5 minutes left in the game. They have to try to get a couple of easy ones down low to him on the offensive end. So if he can catch it, turn, and just flip the ball in, they'll be in good shape.
Let's listen in to Ben Candolino. Ben Candolino trying to overcome a 7-point deficit with 4:30 left in the fourth period.
Don't anybody force anything. The clock is our opponent.
His brother Anthony plays at Marquette. Also an outstanding baseball player. He's seen time with the Expos and the Chicago White Sox. Now here's Luther.
This is Luther Wright.
Luther now 5 of 8. Can't cash it in.
They work so hard offensively to get either the good shot or the foul. Then they get to the free throw line. They have to convert those shots to get back into this game.
Hurley with Watkins all over him. Now Walker. Great bounce pass into Rhodes, knocked out of bounds by Mike Brennan. Great defense by the 6-foot junior.
It really was from the standpoint of the bounce pass across the lane, a diagonal one. picked up nicely, but the converging defense of Elizabeth.
Here comes Rhodes. He's fouled by Billingsley. Count it.
Billingsley stepped in there a little late, using the hands, didn't get the body in front. Wright, on the other hand, stayed clear, knew that he had the 4 fouls, but a good take control move by Rhodes because he realizes that the big guy's in there and take it right at him.
Roderick Rhodes, the 6'5" freshman, attempting the three-point play. Off on the free throw. 49-40, 4:05 left. Matera. Now Billingsley. A war being waged between Walker and Luther Wright. Brennan leans in and draws the foul on Bobby Hurley. And that's 4 on Bobby Hurley.
Brennan with good smarts there. Bobby Hurley had decent position to begin with. Brennan, though, using his body to his advantage, showed the ball a little bit, and Hurley went for the fake.
4 on the brain trust for St. Anthony. As Jackson, number 23, checks in for the Minutemen. So Hurley has given up a couple trying to help out against Luther Wright. And Wright out of the ball game with 3:56 left now.
Ben Candelino obviously wants to get a quicker up-tempo game in, save the big guy if he can now, probably for 2 minutes or so. But he'll try to get his team playing all the scrappy defense, try to come up with some turnovers. Looks like they're going to come full court again.
Brennan cuts it to 7, and Wright is back up off the bench. 3:50 left as St. Anthony works against the pressure. DeHare.
The 1-3-1 matchup again, but they're going to have to come out and play the man-to-man. Here they come. They're creeping out defensively.
Brennan at a disadvantage height-wise against DeHare.
They'll work the ball around for the good shot, try to isolate maybe Walker down low if they can.
Terry DeHare had a notion and brings it back outside. Mark Harris, the 5'11" senior, also into the game for St. Anthony, which gives them another good ball handler. Brennan. Did he get him? He got the steal, and Terry DeHare picks up the personal foul, trying to make amends.
Well, the key once again is those free throws. You work so hard on the defensive end this time. They come up with the play, the loose ball foul, they'll go to the free throw line. So important, though, to bury them at the line.
Brennan goes back to the line for the 1-and-1. DeHare with 2 personals.
2 of the basics of basketball. Free throw shooting and defense can win you so many games. Good touch at the line. Gets the roll.
3 of 3 from the line today for Mike Brennan.
See if he shoots this one just a little bit longer. The first one hit that front rim, got the roll. There it is.
Mike Brennan, who had 16 against Eastern in the semifinal, brings the Minutemen within 5 with 3 minutes left in the 4th quarter. DeHare against the pressure. Beats it.
Simple but a good catch by Bobby Hurley on that bounce pass. Looked like it was going to skip on him.
Mike Brennan, the pushing foul. 2 on Mike. I'll tell you what, these 3 officials haven't let much go.
No, they haven't. They've been calling them as pretty much a lot of the fouls have been the hand-checking fouls, which is a violation, but with the extra official out there, maybe a little too many calls.
One thing we haven't seen is the 3-second violation. You would think with the 3rd official, they'd clear the lane. It really hasn't been a call. DeHare. 83%. First point of the 2nd half for Terry.
And a good-looking shot from the free throw line. Good form.
As you jinx him.
As I jinx him, right? Never fails.
Never fails, absolutely.
Next time he steps up, I'll say he has horrible form, and he'll drop 2 of them, right?
His mom and dad thank you. 50-44. Elizabeth. There's Jerry Walker. Did he get ball? No, he had a little hand on Mike Matero.
Just by Jerry Walker's reaction right there. He thought he definitely had all ball on it. But this is going to make things interesting. It's cutting that gap. Down 6 right now. If they hit the free throws, they can still close this gap and I'm sure they'll still be playing Elizabeth full court, man-to-man defense if they can.
4 on Jerry. Ball, but little arm there as well.
And Luther Wright takes a seat on the bench again, and this is the rotation. Defensively, they'll try to have him off the floor so he doesn't pick up the 5th, but the smaller lineup is an up-tempo lineup.
Matero can't make the first.
A little flat on that one, a little bit of a line drive. He has to shoot the ball with a better arc to get it to drop.
Malik Jackson, by the way, replacing Luther Wright. So now Bob Hurley and Jerry Walker have 4 apiece, as does Luther Wright and Tyrone Billingsley. 2:30 left. St. Anthony, a 5-point lead. Hurley dishes it to Walker, and Harris saves for the Friars.
Well, the opening initially is there, but with good collapse defense that closes the gaps for Elizabeth. St. Anthony's very patient, though, and as you mentioned, all unselfish and good ball handlers.
DeHare with Watkins pressuring. Now Brennan on Hurley. Two minutes left. DeHare to Rhodes. They kick it back outside.
There's no secret that they know how to win basketball games. They'll take the clock to their side, use it as the best of their advantage, but then they'll work it until they get to the free throw line.
Matero bumps Bobby Hurley, an 83% free throw shooter. 4 on Matero, but they gotta believe now, they gotta hope that Hurley will miss the front end.
The thing about it too, Bobby Hurley likes to have the ball in his hands, so Bobby Hurley Sr. just loves to see his son step up to the free throw line because he has confidence in him, and Bobby Hurley Jr. has the confidence in himself.
Luther back in as Candolino goes offense defense with his center. Boy, he's going to be a great player for Mike Krzyzewski. I know that doesn't bother you too much, Mr. Duke Columbus.
Yeah, maybe we'll get a chance to see them in the regionals next week right here at the Meadowlands in the finals, hopefully.
Hurley cans them both. The Friars back up by 7 with 1:40 left.
That Duke Notre Dame game would be some matchup, huh?
All right, all right. Would have been.
I'd get you back for that lack of dunking in my career comment you made before.
You scored. Here's Luther inside. It's knocked loose by Roderick Rhodes, but the Minutemen maintain possession.
Brought the ball down to the smaller guy's level so they can control it. If he keeps it high, he controls the way the ball's going to go.
Back to Watkins with Harris on him. Watkins driving, tried to throw it to Luther.
Going for a charge.
Charging, yes. On to Warren Watkins.
Terry DeHare just stayed in the back, waited all the way.
So we go back to the other end. Watkins with 3 now.
Watkins is third person. It's 1-1 at the line.
And DeHare gets another chance.
And regardless of what the final score says, Pat, for a game that everybody kind of slanted towards St. Anthony's before it began, this turned out to be a great game.
The front end of the 1-1 for Terry DeHare. As the Friars begin to salt this one away, hitting 53-45, 1:22 left.
And this is where playing in those big games, you know, traveling around, playing the best teams in the country, you learn from that. You learn how to win games. They're a very, very disciplined basketball team, and they execute.
With the 9-point lead, Elizabeth. Brennan tried for 3, blocked by DeHare, knocked out of bounds. Right in front of us. Mike Matero with the floor burns to show for his hustle.
They're both coming at us, and then they disappeared. Thank goodness before they got on top of the table on us.
I was ducking behind you. Watkins, 1:10 left. Matero. Mike Matero for 2.
Close to that 3-point line, looking for a timeout. They don't have it.
54-47. And it's Tyrone Billingsley.
Should be 5
and that is
on
5 on Tyrone Billingsley, who finishes with 7 points. And Tyrone, to his credit, had a great state tournament.
Yeah, and his numbers, I'm sure a little disappointed in his numbers today, but his effort was second to no one out on that floor.
Billingsley, the senior. his last game, and Bob Hurley calls the Friars over in front of the bench to talk about this one. A 7-point lead with 1:03 left. Malik Jackson will check in, replacing Billingsley. Jimmy, you win with defense, and you win by making your free throws down the stretch when they send you to the line.
And those are the two things you can really practice. Teams take it for granted. There's so many guys, that do not shoot the ball well from the free throw line, but it really comes down to concentration and repetition and practicing. And this is a team that is disciplined. They work hard, but they work on the little things that win games.
DeHare 6 of 7 from the line, and there's Harris intercepting. DeHare, and Hurley wants the ball in his hands. You see the time left in the Tournament of Champions final. There's the foul by Mike Brennan as the Friars up by 9.
They don't need to score points right now. The clock is on their side, so it's a good move for them to just pull it out, milk the clock, work it down as quickly as they can.
And they're beginning to think perfect season now. The St. Anthony fans on hand. Some smiles on the faces of the Friars, but this man will not smile until the final buzzer. Bob Hurley Sr.
48 seconds left.
Boy, that rattled around, almost went down for DeHare. Watkins back for Brennan. Off the glass for 2, and timeout Elizabeth. That's their last timeout. With 40 seconds left, they're down by 7.
Well, they're just going to have to set up their full court, obviously, to try to get a quick turnover if they can, or force St. Anthony's to go to the foul line as quickly as they can. It's now from a defensive standpoint, and the team that's scrambling now down 7, they have to use the clock and get as much out of the clock as they possibly can also.
While we have a chance, let's thank some people who made our coverage possible.
You're welcome.
We'll thank you later, James Spinarkle. Bob Canopy of the NJSIAA, the Meadowlands folks. Bob Cassiola with the New Jersey Nets. Mike Rowe and Mike Graham from the New Jersey Sports and Exposition Authority. And producer-director Ray Herbert, who's seen a lot of basketballs over the last few days.
This has been a success. I mean, it's great to see so many people come out, especially when, you think about the competition that's out there with the NCAA's on, pro sports in this area. I think the turnout was sensational here today.
And, of course, there's one more game coming up at the Meadowlands, and that's when the Cavs finish up this triple header. Okay, 40 seconds left now. St. Anthony. They've won 31 this season with a 56-49 lead over Elizabeth. DeHare moves along the baseline and gets it into Bobby Hurley. Rhodes, easy for Jerry Walker, who misses the jam. Jackson batted it out, but Rhodes comes away with it. And Jerry Walker will think about that tonight as Elizabeth fouls.
He's smiling a little bit over there. He's pulling his shirt up to cover his smile, but Bob Hurley Sr. sitting on the sideline a little nervous. Still, there are about 34 seconds left. Now there's 27, but when he missed that shot, the clock helped him out there, but there was making things a little nervous on that St. Anthony's bench.
You should have seen the frown on Bob Hurley's face as Rhodes goes to the line to shoot 1 and 1. A little bit of breathing room now for Bob Hurley Sr. Wife Chris, the official scorer for the Friars. And the freshman makes a pair. 58-49, 25 seconds left. Brennan for 3. Banks it home, and he'll say, yeah, I wanted to use glass on that shot.
Well, that's how important those last 2 free throws were, that they came away with it, because instead of a 6-point game, would have converted it to a 4-point game, rather.
So it's 58-52. Doran Watkins picks up his 4th.
These 2 here probably will ice it, though, Pat, I think. You never know, though, in high school basketball. You never know what's going to happen.
16 seconds left. St. Anthony with a 6-point lead. Hurley has a dozen today. He averages 20 points a game. And he misses the front end, so the Minutemen The door may be open a little with 6 points down. Oh, Luther Wright has his shot blocked by Jerry Walker.
Nice finish by Walker, but the big guy was going for 3. They need 2 threes. They got to get him up as quickly as possible. There's one.
Watkins banks it in from three-point land. The Minutemen down by 3, 58-55 with 3 seconds left. And we've got a whistle.
Have any timeouts left?
Elizabeth called for the timeout. They did not have a timeout left. What's the call here now? No, okay, they had one left. But originally, the official gave us the technical sign.
Oh, we'll see what happens. We were under the impression that they didn't have any left.
Wait, they did get the technical,
but they get the timeout
too.
Right, exactly.
Michael, you playing it square?
Exciting enough for you?
Candolino buys himself a little time with a technical foul. As the Minutemen called time with 3 seconds left.
He didn't have any other choice, though, Pat, with that, because there were 5 seconds left on the clock. The ball did not have to come inbound, so he has to take his chances to stop the clock somehow.
Candolino trying to do it with Mears. They're down by 3 with 3 seconds left.
Yeah, he's going to need some kind of mirror or a lid on that basket, though, right now. This could ice it.
Ben Candolino bringing the Minutemen back. And you knew who was going to shoot the free throws for St. Anthony. Bobby Hurley Jr. to shoot 2.
Just goes to show you, though, the coach and his players for Elizabeth not willing to give up this one, even though it's over right now. With great thought process on the bench there, just to keep thinking, trying everything they could at the last minute.
Hurley makes it a 4-point lead, and now a 5-point lead for the Friars. 60-55 with 3 seconds left. Now DeHare. Back to Hurley. Hurley throws it up in the air, but he was fouled just as he tossed it away. 1 tick left on the clock.
He was just trying to put it up there, and he knew by the time it would come down that the game clock could be finished, but he got fouled before he could do it.
Watkins fouls out. And that's all. Now here come the substitutions for the St. Anthony Friars as Hurley clears the bench and the celebration begins for St. Anthony. Bobby Hurley will be the only starter who remains in the ball game long enough to shoot the 1-and-1.
And they're 4 in, his brother Danny will substitute for him if he hits the free throws.
Danny Hurley waiting to check in for Bobby. Savino gets in, as does Rooney. Ortiz comes back in along with Woodrow Williams. And a little bit of excitement as the Minutemen testing the Friars down the stretch here.
Well, that's why you can never go home until this baby is totally finished. I mean, they had 2 3-pointers there to make this thing very interesting down the stretch.
Bobby Hurley ices the game from the free throw line for Father Bob. And boy, this was one of their goals all along, to get to the Tournament of Champions finals and to win. There's always been the question, is St. Anthony in the parochial division as good as the public team? And the answer this year is yes. The St. Anthony Friars capture the first ever Tournament of Champions with a 62-55 win over Elizabeth. Bob Hurley, his 2nd perfect season as head coach of St. Anthony. So there's the final score. The St. Anthony Friars beat the Elizabeth Minutemen 62-55. We'll be back with the most valuable player, the winning coach, and wrap it all up from the Meadowlands